environment, or we can say it as a non-prod environments. Okay, and PT is a production environment. Usually, we like everybody will have the main access to the dev environment, QT and TSP environments. PT will totally be like all the access will be depend or given to only few people in the team, like manager level people will have the access only. Okay, so now what exactly lies under these systems? So if I just double click here and if I expand this system, you see here these are like catalog, content, provisioning, and security. These are the different tabs we see over here, right? Now, under the catalog, we have these, we can call it as a package name. Okay, so these are the different packages that we have. Just a moment, one is getting. Okay, so these are different packages we can see.
Just one point, like why we are scheduled these things, right? These TTs, because going onwards if there is a migration, right? So the idea is like everything will be getting migrated to the data, will getting migrated to the EDL, enterprise data lake. And as we discussed the very first stage, so the idea of EDL is to have all the data stored in the cloud side, and the data what will be coming from is from legacy, right? And the legacy can be HANA, TP2, Informatica, or whatever, like Oracle, like that. So you can now correlate. So as we getting the KT, just try to correlate the things team. So then you will start getting the question. So the idea is like we need to send the history or legacy data to the cloud platform. So in order to do that, we need to well-versed with the understanding, or at least if not developing, at least what exactly the code is present in the legacy systems. That can be HANA, Informatica, Logic, or anything. So in order to migrate those things to the cloud, we need to understand the existing behavior and the existing functionalities of what exactly is happening, the logical side, right? So that is where we need to have a good understanding of all these legacy system also. We can't say like complete legacy because HANA is being used worldwide still now, and it's also having this cloud platform. Now it's come up with that feature also. But yeah, it's better to understand how we can explore the things, how we can understand what is happening in the HANA tables, and there is a requirement to replicate that one in the data bricks using PySpark or something. We should be able to understand the logic. That is why we are going through all these things. And with the team, we will go through like once this high level this thing is done. The team has recently worked on the migration of Informatica Logic to Databricks, because there is a decommission of HANA connectivity was happening, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. So yeah, Gupta will be taking care of that one. So this is on a high level. So this is the agenda of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Harish. So yeah, as Harish mentioned, so these things are interrelated. Okay. So yesterday, if we remember, like we talked about database internal and all those things, right? So if you remember database internal, we try to connect with the other sources. As we mentioned, we can connect to the HANA as well. So what happens like...
É mais clássico para você vencido, meu amigo. É esse clássico agora.
If we want to read any table from HANA, right? So we have, as I'm saying, we can say this is one package. So if I expand this package, you can see a structure like this over here. Okay, now if I again expand, if we see here, like we have a tab called procedure, another thing is tables, right? So if we just expand tables over here.
Eu sou o Gustavo Villani, junto comigo o comentarista Caio Ribeiro. Vamos juntos! E que partidaça esperamos hoje? É Liverpool e Manchester City.
Villani, o time já tem uma vantagem de 3 pontos. Se jogar sério, conseguir vencer, deixa o adversário para trás. Mas o jogo vai
some of the main tables that we have, like our team created, we load those tables either from DB2 source, EDA table, or Informatica. Okay, and some of the tables that comes from the sources, is like that team handles that. So we just read those tables and we just read those tables in our processes. Okay, now if we say like how we have this EDA table structure, right? It will be the same here as well. Like column names, what is the data type of it. Just a little bit different here and there, but that we plug in it with the hands-on of these things. So this is how the table structure will look like. And for this table, to insert the data, we have procedures as well. Like we have created procedure scripts as well. So
Arremesso dos Reds.
if we go to the create statement here, you will see that this is the procedure, like this creates procedure, the script, that whatever the requirement. Again, whatever the tables that we have created, whatever the stored procedures that we have created, that will be again based on completely a requirement, like business requirement, what was behind it. So according to that, we will try to gather different external tables, other resources, and try to join them, right? And we create a procedure. So if we just check here once, like insert into this table. So we are through this store procedure, we are trying to insert the data into this table by joining with some other tables and some other selecting some columns from different tables. Likewise, the store procedure script will look like. Okay, and this is how the table structure will look like. So what procedures the tables will look like. This is table.
Tudo começa com a roubada de bola e agora uma ação no contra-ataque. E mesmo com marcação, ele conseguiu finalizar para fazer o gol.
Clear.etl.mkt. So this will be like different packages and then table it. So how does it look like when we are trying to query the table? Yeah, see, like this is of the table. Okay, then data D is whole moderator or whole model. This is the package, and from under that package we have created this table. So,
A marcação não deixa.
just a script we need to write. Just like an AVD file that they will show.
Podia ser perigoso. Puxa o ataque, tem
For
apoio.
that, for creation of always the creation of store procedure and tables, right? We have to go to the process explorer part. Okay, and for that, like we'll not go deep. Once we know the hands-on, we'll anyway get to know. But for that, for going to the project explorer, we need to like whatever the inside, whichever the package inside which we want to create a table, right? We need to export that particular project. Like if I want to package this thing, I just have to.
A zaga bloqueia.
Vai vir. Over here.
Fica no meio do caminho.
Okay, so now if I just, these are the different again packages inside which if we see here can
A marcação leva a melhor, retoma bem, acaba com um lance perigoso. Tem espaço para jogar, quem sabe o contra-ataque.
tables. So yeah, if we see, these are the script behind the tables.
Salah.
Okay, let me open it. So like tables, table name, table type, description, columns and their name. This is like it is one straightforward script. Like we can write it on top of it, we can create a table. Okay. Now this is one thing, like how we can create a table and procedure. Another thing, as I mentioned about the view. So there are two types of views that we can create here. One is calculated view and another is scripted view. So what is calculated view?
Bernardo Silva. O Manchester City vai para ataque. É agora para diminuir. Chute bloqueado.
See, we can see the
Bateu
lead
curtinho.
here as well, calculation was there. So I just right click on this.
Bernardo
I
Silva.
open this.
Viu a chance, tocou, olha só. Aparece bem a zaga. Mata o ataque. Maravilha. Sai bem da marcação. Alisson mergulha e pega.
This one is
Salvou o
scripted
time, não
view.
é o melhor do mundo por acaso.
Que lindo corte para tomar a bola na área.
Boa, tinha que acabar com o lance.
Equitique. Bola enfiada, que lance. Parou, parou. Não vale mais nada.
Okay, so let's
Impedimento
first go to
marcado.
the scripted view. So scripted view is nothing but we just like need to write an SQL script. So
Matheus
if
Nunes
you all know
recebe.
like what is view,
Carrega
view is
no ataque,
basically
conexão.
like say for example we
É
have
agora, Haaland.
some
Impedimento
three tables and we
marcado.
want
Não vale
to
mais
like
nada.
bring out only some
Intervalo
required
chegando,
data
o Liverpool
or
vai
some
fazendo
filtered
um
data
longo
on top of
meio
those
tempo.
tables, right? So
Sensacional,
for
eu
that we
diria.
try to
Caiu na
create.
barra.
So
Esses
here,
dois gols de
if we
vantagem
just
do
see this,
Olha o gol.
here we see
Espetacular, ele fecha o
so
gol,
this is the view that we have created, like by
sensacional.
writing and
Alguns não
joining
foi a
some script with
queima-roupa, mas o goleirão se
some other
superou.
tables. Okay, so see
Eu
these
dei
are
uma bronca
different
para
tables.
escrever
Of course,
muito,
we
olha só.
underline the tables that we have used, and we have done scripted.
Retomada
So from this,
cirúrgica.
just
O
to
ataque
select
parecia
query
bom.
first. Like we are selecting some
Vilani
columns
recuperou na hora
from the
certa.
different views to get the required data. Okay, now this is how we have written an SQL script. So this is called as a scripted view. Now if we see this,
Recupera a bola ainda no campo de ataque. Quero ver. Rodri. Vai que é tua.
Puta merda, como é que essa bola passa, velho?
Dá esperança. Falta um para empatar o jogo. Final do primeiro tempo. Vamos para o intervalo do jogo.
we have created a job of
Merece destaque. Que primeiro tempo foi.
like this is the main thing that we mainly work on. Okay, but there are other tools as well that are like that play a very important role in this project also. Okay, like SAP HANA Studio, Informatica, that is a detailed tool. AWS also we use. Then mainframe and these tools like helps us for some of our processes. So currently, like Informatica, if we take Informatica as an example, so that currently we are migrating the workflows of Informatica to the Databricks. Like going forward, that is going to be decommissioned from the DR side. So that is why we are migrating it. So I'll be explaining about these
Nunes.
today, like how do we work on it and
Bem Dias.
what we exactly do. Okay,
Vai pro
we share
gol.
this screen.
Defesa segura, vai bem o goleiro.
Yes, my screen is good.
Escanteio. Olha o City buscando um empate. Matheus Nunes recebe.
Yes.
Chegada providencial na
This
área.
is like SAP HANA Studio,
Equitique. Pegou o
where
freio.
we create,
O carrinho ele fez
like
a falta.
we develop, create tables, database tables.
Passe pro
We
Bizarro.
create like views on
sem
top of
falta,
it,
bote
like
limpo.
calculated views,
E o
scripted
golpe vai se
like
desenhando.
that.
Atenção.
Okay, so let me just show you
Retomando a posse de bola, bom corte na área.
what like as we
Creation of the table, can we explain this whole CTL and state CTL,
Yeah.
TQPA, that will be on your plan to cover it all this.
Yeah.
Tem espaço para aparecer. De novo. Terceiro do jogo.
Liverpool supera o Manchester City e Giovanni já é líder da Premier League.
Create the
Fica difícil marcar o
all
jogador quando ele está
functions, all the,
inspirado, né?
like we just insert the data into the tables like that. Okay, so this is how like the structure looks like. So if we see observe over here, under this systems we can see CTA, PTA, QTA, and TA3, right? So these are like our environments. So yesterday, if you all remember, like we discussed about local David product environment in the code repositories, right? Like it will be the same in HANA as well. So CTA is a dev environment. QTA and TA3, we call it as a testing environment, or we can say it as a non-prod environment. Okay, and PTA is a production environment. Usually we like everybody will have the main access to the dev environment, PTA and TA3 environments. PTA we have like people will have the access to the PTA. Okay, so now what exactly lies under these systems? So if I just double click here, if I expand this system, these are the cat contain location and security. These are the different tabs we see over here, right? Now under the catalog we have these we can call it as a package name. Okay, so these are the different packages.
E enquanto a equipe adversária permitir, vão continuar, Guga.
Isaac.
Okay, so, these are different packages we can see.
We are scheduled like these tables because we got there is a migration, right? So the idea is like everything will keep getting migrated to the data, will getting migrated to ETL enterprise data lake. And as we discussed the very first day, the idea of ETL is to have all the data stored in the cloud side, and the data what will be coming from is the legacy, right? And the legacy can be HANA, DB2, Informatica, or whatever, like Oracle, like that. So you can now correlate it. So as we getting the KT system to correlate the things here, so then we start into the question. So the idea is like we need to save the history of legacy data to the cloud platform. So in order to do that, we need to help us with the understanding or at least not developing with this what exactly the codes present in the legacy systems. That can be HANA, Informatica, or Logic, or anything. So in order to migrate those things to the cloud, we need to understand the existing behavior and existing functionalities of what exactly is happening, the logical side, right? So that is where we need to have a good understanding of all these legacy system also. We can't like complete legacy because HANA is being used worldwide still now, and it's also having this cloud platform. Now it's come up with that feature also. But yeah, it's better to understand how we can explore the things, how we can understand what is happening in the HANA tables, and if we need to, there is a requirement to replicate that one, the data makes using PySpark or something. We should be able to understand the logic. That is why we are going through all this. And with the team, we will go to like once this high level thing is done. The team has recently worked on the migration of Informatica logic database because there is a decommission of HANA connector. It was happening right now.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. So yeah, we should be taking care of that one. So these are high level. Yeah, please go. Thank you.
So yeah, as Anish mentioned, so these things are interrelated. Okay, so yesterday, if we remember, like we talked about database internal and all those things, right? So if you remember database internal, we try to connect with the other sources. As we mentioned, we can connect to the HANA as well. So what happens, like if I just talk brief about that, what happens if we want to read any table from HANA, right? So So we have, as a right, this is the, we can say this is one package. So if I expand this package, you can see a structure like this over here. Okay, now if I again expand, if we see here, like we have a tab called procedure, another thing is tables, right? So if we just expand tables over here,
preferiu a bola curtinha. Sensacional na marcação. Parecia perigoso.
see this is our the table. There is the SAP HANA. So now how to load these tables? Some of the main tables that we have, like our team created, we load those tables either from DB2 source, EDA table or Informatica. Okay, and some of the things
Goleada do Liverpool pra cima do Manchester City, Giovanni assume a
Eles encaixaram um contra-ataque muito rápido. A defesa estava desarrumada. E essa finalização também merece destaque. Cara a cara, não teve dó nem piedade. Bateu com muita força e correu pro abraço.
Manda pelo alto pro ataque. Fim de jogo, vitória enorme, passo gigante